Hi. Every time you sip a beer, or you get an award, or you just meet a friend of yours, or you get a like on a social media, you get this kick from inside. This is when dopamine is released in your brain. And the same kind of kick also comes in if you go running or if you do exercise. Now, in the latter case of running or exercise, there is a lot of hard work to be done in it. So people want to do something that is easy and that will give them a kick and give them that dopamine release. Now, who doesn't want to feel that happiness? Who doesn't want to feel that rush? But things go crazy when that leads to addiction. Now, this is where our book comes into picture. The Dopamine Nation by Anna Lembke, Dr. Anna Lembke, and she is the medical director at Stanford Addiction Medicine, if I'm not wrong. And she has shared plenty of stories, real life experiences that she has learned while treating and diagnosing and treating her patients. And each of these stories mentioned in over here, they are gripping, they are scary, and they kind of explore the dark world of addiction. Now, she has done a brilliant job in explaining what frameworks do you apply to come out of addiction. Um the different effects of medication that you take when you're trying to treat these kind of addictions, um different kinds of addictions basically, then what is the entire science behind addiction, and why does it happen, what causes it, why is it so difficult to leave alcohol, what is drug abuse, what what is relapse, why would relapse happen, how do you come out of it. And basically, in almost each of her stories, you will see what is the kind of expectation that you should have if you are a patient from yourself, or um, from your life that is going to come post the treatment. So this book kind of deals into all of this. Now, some interesting bits that came in while I was reading Dopamine Nation was she has discussed about the marshmallow experiment. She has talked about adventure sports, skydiving, and things like that, that also give you the same kind of kick. How different it is, how some brains are wired to not feel the fear the way others do for the same kind of an activity. She's also discussed about gambling and how gambling, the uncertainty in gambling actually gives people a high and keeps them motivated to keep gambling. So addictions are of all sorts, right? It could be binge watching, it could be hours of scrolling on social media, it could be something as serious as alcohol, drug, substance. It could be it could be any of these, or there are several more than these, right? And we are talking about all of these kind of addictions. The core theme over here is uh, the release of dopamine, the dopamine in your brain kind of controlling what action do you do next. And she has tried to say that there is a pleasure pain balance. Think of pleasure pain to be on two sides of the seesaw, and your brain is constantly trying to maintain a balance between pleasure and pain. And in trying to do this, uh, when you try to give yourself pleasure several times, it has to work twice as hard to maintain the balance back to where it was. And she's talked about the concept of homeostasis and things like that. So with time, if you keep seeking pleasure more and more, then it becomes less satisfying, and you have to try harder and stronger. Then it could mean drinking more, it could mean more substance abuse, it could mean more hours online, it could be just doing the addiction more and more in order to satisfy yourself. Now, in today's world of instant gratification, the problem isn't with the pleasure, the problem is with the abundance of it, the time that we have to experience all of this. Now, dopamine plays an important role, a bigger role in the motivation to get the reward than the pleasure of the reward. And this is one of the basic concepts that are being explained over here. Just the idea that good things are going to happen to you gives you a kick to do it more and more. She has also spoken about how after a point in time with addiction, it is all about surviving in spite of knowing that it is going to cause a harm to your body. It is about running away from pain, and it is about just trying to survive. The pleasure pain balance, the more you hit on the pleasure side, the harder it is going to be for you to come to the level of the trying to come to maintain the balance. So these are some things that she's trying to explain through several stories that she has talked about. Now, one very important thing that she has spoken in over here is the framework itself. She's spoken about dopamine as the framework that she's used. D stands for data. So she collects data from her patients about what is going on in their life, what is causing the addiction, etc., etc. Then what are they doing, what kind of addiction do they have, how much time do they spend into it, and all the kind of data about it. O for objective, what do they wish to change about it, what do they want to do with it. P for problems, what is the kind of problem that they are facing while they are trying to stay in the addiction or trying to come out of it. A stands for abstinence, how long do they plan to abstain from it, how much can they really do. Abstinence playing such a big role in trying to get out of addiction. DOPAMINE, so M standing for mindfulness. Once you start abstinence, being mindful about what you're doing, what you're not doing. I for insights, what you learn post abstinence, what you learned about your body, what you learn about your self of sense, what do you learn about what the drug is doing to you or what the addiction is doing to you. And N stands for next steps, which she thinks is the most important part of here. There is a line over here wherein she says that not knowing what the next steps are once you're done with abstinence is the most difficult part for people who are facing this kind of a trouble. They don't know what to do next. They don't know whether to continue with it, whether to totally abstain from it, how much do they use, how much do they not use, what medication do they do, etc., etc. And E stands for experiment. That is, what do you do post the next steps. That is, all of this framework is to restore homeostasis. Now, there are two more concepts that are discussed in this book. One is destructive shame and pro-social shame, wherein she has tried to say that people who start talking about the problems that they are facing start getting shame from the society. They get shame from the society, they are a sideline from the society, and all of this kind of puts them in a loop wherein they get more and more isolated. So there is this cycle of isolation, overconsumption, shame, and then lying about what you're doing, and then going back to overconsumption. So this is a huge issue, and she's tried to talk about it. I think it's a very important part and a must read in this book, definitely. For those of us who know such people, who want to help such people, embracing them and including them in the society is very important. So she's tried to discuss this in detail over here. On page 234 is where you'll see a good lessons of balance, some 10 pointers that she's given, kind of summarizing the entire book, which is absolutely which is just absolutely fantastic. I would like to end by saying that addiction is not it is not simply related to lack of willpower, that you're not able to get out of it just because you lack willpower. It's more than that. just dealing with it, staying in it, and coming out of it is twice the work, because you're not just trying to get away from the addiction. You're just not trying to get away from the addiction of medicine as well. You're also trying to work on the root cause, and it is not easy. And after you're done reading this book, you would get a sense of what really happens inside the minds of such people, or inside the mind of addicts. A lot of people say that, are we choosing our pleasure, or are the pleasures kind of choosing us? But there is more to this than what seeks the eye. So do give this book a read. Dopamine Nation by Anna Lembke. She's done a fantastic job in touching upon various things and still trying to give a solution, a framework in addressing a major issue, that is addiction. Thank you.